Welcome everybody to the Western Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening this evening, but be sure to sign up for the other ones happening as well. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/WACAC. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters, and our first institution will be Southern Oregon University.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy Martin, and I'm one of our admissions counselors at Southern Oregon University. Southern Oregon University is located in beautiful Ashland, Oregon, which is just about 15 minutes up north from the border between Oregon and California. We are a medium-sized institution with just under 6,000 students this year. Our average student to faculty ratio is about 20-1, and your average class size is going to be around that same size, about 22 students. I'm a former student here as well. I got my degree back in criminal justice. I could certainly elaborate that smaller classroom size setting was very beneficial as a student. Professors were never too busy to help out their students. They really do care about the students here. Honestly, one of my favorite things about the school here is how willing the professors are to help their students out. Homework, or if they just need guidance, how to get started in their career field. What makes us unique is that we're one of the original B campuses in the country. We are an accredited tree campus. We also have a farm that students and faculty can work on. We're one of the top 25 LGBT-friendly campuses in the country, as well as one of the top 50 best as well. We've been consistently ranked as a top 10 finalist for best small town in America, and the last distinction that I couldn't fit. Movie Maker magazine has consistently ranked Ashland, Oregon as the #1 small town in America to live and learn to be a filmmaker. We have a digital cinema program, so that fits very well for us. Our academics, we have 38 different majors here with over 100 different areas of study. Our top 5 most popular programs are business, education, psychology, criminal justice, and communications. We want to highlight some other programs that I think are very popular or very strong, I would say, that don't get as much notoriety. First being theater. Theater is actually kind of what we're most well known for, really in part to our Oregon Festival. With the Shakespeare Festival, that brings in people from all around the world all year round. So while Ashland might be a little bit of a smaller community, it is a very lively, thriving tourist attraction town. So it's pretty unique for a town of our size. We also have a nursing program run through OHSU, which is one of the top nursing programs in the country as well. We offer STEM programs in biology, chemistry, biochemistry, and environmental science for students who are interested in pursuing medical schools. Our STEM programs are they do a great job of getting students ready for that next step. So over 80% of our students actually do get into the medical schools of their choice when they go through our STEM programs. And we are on a little bit of a time constraint here, so I'm not going to go through everything. Just want to highlight some of our strong programs. In regards to student life, like I said, it's a medium-sized institution. There's a lot going on here, especially with athletics. We are in the NAIA, so it's like a step below the NCAA. We're a very successful and competitive NAIA school. Our football team won their first national championship back in 2014. Our women's softball team won their first national title 2 years ago, and we're currently in our longest winning streak in program history this year as the #1 ranked school in the NAIA, and plenty of individual champions within track, wrestling, and cross country. Oregon is very much a track heavy state, and that certainly rings true for SOU as well. And when it comes to getting involved and meeting new people, our clubs are a great way to do so. We have different clubs, whether they're multicultural clubs like our Latino Student Union, which I was a part of, our Black Student Union, our Native American Club, Hawaii Club. There's leisurely clubs like a Quidditch club, if you like Harry Potter, a video game and cosplay club, theater, acting-based clubs, you name it, we have it as a club. Let's talk money. So we are a WUI school. We do automatically award the WUI tuition rate for all of our out-of-state residents on the coast. So you're automatically going to be looking at, on average, about $15,000 to $16,000 a year on tuition. Then you can add $14,000, $15,000 for room and board on top of that. That's what you're going to be looking at realistically for your yearly cost of attendance. You award financial aid in many different forms. The FAFSA is key. So starting October 1st, that's when the FAFSA is open for the following year. Do that as soon as you possibly can. Trust me, just get it out of the way so you don't need to worry about it later on. Over 70% of our students here do receive financial aid. We also award merit-based scholarships. So depending on your GPA, you could potentially receive one of 4 tiered scholarships, including our SISQ scholarship. If you have at least a 3.0 GPA, you're automatically going to get a $1,000 scholarship for the year. And with our admissions requirements, we are test optional. We do not require SAT or ACT scores. We only need our application, which can be found on our website, and then your high school transcripts. Incoming college credits, that's great too. We would just need transcripts from those institutions as well, transfer those over. Our minimum GPA that we require for incoming freshmen is about a 2.5 minimum GPA with at least a C- and above in your college preparatory math, science, language arts, all those traditional core classes. Like I said, we don't require this test scores anymore, but the average scores that we usually see coming in is about a 10-10 for the SAT and the 22 for the ACT. And this is my contact information. So if you do want to learn a little bit more about SOU after this presentation, reach out to me. So thank you so much for joining us again tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Eastern Oregon University.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christian, and I am an admissions counselor at Eastern Oregon University. I'm a proud alum from the class of 2017, where I really appreciated and enjoyed my time being a Mountaineer. So Eastern Oregon University is actually located in La Grande, Oregon. We're about 2.5 hours from Boise and about 4 hours from Portland, also about 5 hours from Seattle. I'm going to set my timer real quick. Sorry about that. Perfect. The population of La Grande is about 13,000, so we're definitely located in a college town. And with the population of about 13,000 in the town of La Grande, we have about 1,500 students on campus. So we are a small campus. And what we like to say is you get a private education at a public price. And that was something that I really appreciated too. As Jimmy from SOU mentioned, when you attend a smaller campus, I think one of the benefits are the opportunities that you get to connect with professors. And that was definitely something that I enjoyed and a lot of students here at EOU get to enjoy. Being able to connect with professors and not just being a number. The average class size at EOU is less than 25. I will say during your first year of college, you might be in a class of about 60 to 70 as you're taking those general education classes that everyone has to take. But as soon as you transition into your major, you're going to be in classes that are even smaller than 25. You might be in classes that are about 15, and that's something nice as you're getting ready to graduate and looking at getting into grad school or potentially into your dream job. As far as popular majors at EOU, we have 35 plus majors. And here on the screen, you can see some of our most popular. I will say education is one of our more elite programs. We were actually founded as a teaching school back in 1929. And a lot of our students are definitely into education. About 20% of our students are education majors. We also do really well in the STEM field. We've been nationally recognized by the National Chemical Association for the past 10 years, and about 92% of students that apply into med school are accepted, and that's due to having those small class size opportunities. We also have business, which is very popular. About 25% of students are business majors. Within business, we have several different concentrations, and then some other majors I'll highlight. Our psychology program, it's very research oriented, and students get to do a lot of internships. Many of those are paid internships. And we definitely take a pride in positive placement, right? Not only do you come to EOU and get your degree, but we really focus and make sure that you get a degree and get a job in something that aligns with your degree. So again, 35 plus majors at EOU. Something that is also fun about college, right, is you get to do things that you like to do outside of just homework and being in the class. So at EOU, we have 50 plus clubs and organizations. We have numerous multicultural clubs. We actually have a large population of students from the Pacific Islands. We also have Zumba Club if you like dancing every Wednesday from 5 to 6:30. Great opportunity to work up a sweat. Along with that, we also have mountain biking club and skiing, snowboarding club, but also we have student government. So if you like getting involved and being in leadership positions, student government is a really awesome opportunity because you can get paid as well. We also have art. Theaters is pretty big at EOU as well. We have theater club and theater major. We have a trail running club that's fairly new. And then the last two pictures I'll talk about is our esports club. We have an esports club here on campus, and students actually receive scholarships to play video games at EOU, which is kind of crazy to think of. And then last but not least, that bottom right picture is a picture of our activities fair. And during your first week of classes, you'll have an opportunity to walk around and then learn about all the different clubs and organizations at EOU. We also have study abroad. If you wanted to study at EOU, you can also do a semester abroad. Our most popular destinations are Costa Rica, Spain, and Australia, and we offer study abroad scholarships. We also have the opportunity of being located in the beautiful Blue Mountains. So as far as outdoor opportunities, you can explore thousands and thousands of acres. We have not only free rentals, but you can earn college credit. So that means you can be taking your business, your math, your writing classes in the morning and register for a class that's outdoor oriented that'll count towards your degree. We also compete in the NAI division, and out of 250 plus schools that compete in the NAI division, we're ranked top 5 in athletic success. And we really put a large focus on academics as well. So here on the screen, you can see the 15 teams that we have. Out of those 15, 11 are nationally ranked. And we also do have scholarships available for cheer and dance. So again, 15 total collegiate teams. We also have on-campus housing. Our residence halls are very nice. We have what we call apartment-style suites. So basically an apartment that you'd share with your roommates. And it is required to live on campus your first year, but we do have off-campus housing available after your first year and second year. So, we have on-campus housing after your first year, if that's something that interests you. As far as tuition and fees, we're about $13,290 for the WUI rate, and that's automatic as well. Last but not least, we have an opportunity coming up this Saturday called the Verto Preview Day, and students who register and attend will receive a $250 scholarship. I will actually add the information in the chat here shortly. But yeah, thanks for listening to my presentation. I'll add that in the chat here shortly. Thank you.
Awesome. Next up, we have Linfield University.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Tiffany Anderson, and I'm one of the assistant directors here at Linfield University. I'm going to apologize in advance. My son is right outside the door, so you might hear him through the presentation. So Linfield University, let's just jump right in. We are located in McMinnville, Oregon. So we're about an hour south of Portland, an hour north of Salem, which is the capital of Oregon. We are located in Oregon wine country in a nice little cozy town of about 35,000 or so. Being from Southern California myself, I love the small community vibe that we have here. And that kind of also translates to our student body. We've got about 1,400 in our campus student body on the McMinnville campus located here. We do have lots of space to roam though here in wine country. We're on a campus of about 189 acres. To put it in a perspective, a regulation football field is about an acre or so, so we've got a lot. Some of our stats of our students broken down right there at the bottom. We are on the cozier side, so average class sizes are about 14 or so. 85% of your classes will be in 22 or fewer, and we have about an 11-to-1 student to professor ratio. One proud fact that we had last year for our incoming cohort of freshman students, this is actually a little bit out of date. We've just recently got our most updated numbers. 35% of our students were identifying as first generation. So they were their first in their family to go to college. So that's definitely something that we're pretty proud of here at Linfield. At Linfield, we've got about 43 majors and minors for you to choose from, broken out there from the College of Arts and Sciences and our School of Business. We are one of the only interdisciplinary wine studies majors here in the United States. So if wine studies was something you were interested in, definitely you'd get great experience from growing to marketing to selling. Our most popular majors lie within the psychology, education, exercise science, nursing, and biology departments. So those are definitely our top. Talking about nursing, so Linfield University's nursing program is pretty unique in the fact that students, they apply to Linfield, the university as a whole, and they'll get accepted to our McMinnville campus where they'll start for 2 years completing their prerequisites. After a satisfactory completion of all of their prerequisite requirements, it's a priority transition over to our Portland campus, located in Northeast Portland, where then it's all nursing from there on out. So our nursing programs are pretty strong. It's one of the oldest in the Pacific Northwest. And last year, our NCLEX pass rate was about 95%, 96% or so. So at Linfield, we really value the whole idea of exploration. So Linfield's general education requirements are actually a little bit unique in the sense that we don't tell students you have to take class XYZ. We tell students we want you to basically master these modes of inquiry, and they're really thematic goals that we want students to be able to end their Linfield education being real experts in. So we say creative studies, there's 30 classes you can choose from. Go and explore, figure out what you want to do, because we don't actually require students to declare their major until the end of their sophomore year. So we hope by allowing students to really explore through, getting their general education requirements completed, they'll be able to, at least you'll be able to know a little bit more, firmly what you really want to do for the rest of your college education. Student faculty collaborative research is something that's really important and what we really value. Freshman students right from the beginning are able to get involved with research, and our faculty are doing research constantly, encouraging their students, looking for grants and getting grants as well. And you can do research really in any field. I was just talking to a history professor who's gotten a grant to do some oral history projects here in the Pacific Northwest. So really in any area, we welcome students to pursue research. Again, on the theme of really exploring and getting out there, we really want our students to be able to experience new countries, new cultures, new communities. So we want to at least take one barrier that might stop students from pursuing study abroad. So we pay for your first round trip airfare to any one of our locations listed right there. And we have about 33 locations around the world that we travel to. So students can study abroad for a semester, a year, or even just a January term, which lives right in between our fall and spring semesters. Campus experience is really big for us because we are, again, that cozier community. So we have the majority of our students living on campus, over 70%. So McMinnville really is home for a lot of students. So we want lots of things to happen for everyone. This past Saturday, we actually had our Hawaiian Club Luau, which is one of our largest campus events here in McMinnville. But yeah, we have over 50 clubs and organizations. The beauty of college and university is you get 3 friends, an advisor, and you're good to go, whatever interests is that you have. But we do have four students to choose from, and we also have 4 sororities and 3 fraternities as well. The ASLU is also always putting on events. We had the drag show not too long ago, and we'll have movie events and laser tag and whatnot. And so our campus community is really active in making sure there's lots for students to do. We're running low on time, so we've got our residential. We do have a 3-year living requirement here at Linfield, but students are able to explore pretty comfy dorms and apartment living as well. We are NCAA Division III, so if students are interested, I highly recommend them reaching out to athletics. We're on the common application, no application fee, and no test scores as of right now. So I have reached my time, but if you are interested, I can provide my information at the bottom of the screen for you there. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. We have reached our halfway point here. So just to go out all to our attendees, you can use that Q&A box to ask any of our presenters questions this evening. If anything comes up you have questions about or programs or anything you want to know more about our institutions here, feel free to use that Q&A box to ask any questions tonight. Next up, we have Lewis and Clark College.
Awesome, thank you. Well, my name is Joy Brown. I serve as a Senior Assistant Dean of Admissions at Lewis and Clark, and I'm excited to share a little bit about LC with you. Lewis and Clark is a private institution with a public conscience and a residential campus with a pretty large global reach. Our students and faculty pursue new ways of knowing by combining classic liberal learning with collaboration. Our students represent, I'd say, a community of global thinkers and leaders who really are unafraid to discard conventional thinking and outmoded preconceptions. I'd say students are often drawn to the beauty of our natural setting in Portland, where our campus is on 137 wooded acres. Our commitment to sustainability, our rigorous academics, and the staggering percentage of our students who take part in one of our renowned study abroad programs. We have just under 2,000 undergraduate students. Our average class size is 17, and we guarantee that you will graduate in 4 years, so much so that we will pay for that extra semester if you don't. And all of our classes are taught by professors, not grad assistants or TAs. One of the first words I always use to describe Lewis and Clark's academics is engaged. Students and faculty are really committed to learning together in that collaborative environment in those small classes where students are actively engaged in their learning. So how does a liberal arts education prepare you for success after college? We really believe that no matter whether students choose to major or minor in biology or international affairs or psychology or entrepreneurship, that they're learning strong communication skills, quantitative skills, they're collaborating, they're exercising their creativity, and ultimately I'd say they're becoming critical thinkers and problem solvers, which are exactly the types of skills that employers are looking for. And our students hail from all over the country and all over the world. They come together and share an incredibly diverse array of perspectives and backgrounds, which is really important to us. And in addition to academics, I would say all of our students are involved outside of the classroom through clubs and organizations, Division III or club and intramural sports, and also in the local Portland community. We are lucky to be located in the green, quirky, delicious, wonderful city of Portland. Many of our students and alumni describe it as really the best of both worlds. We have a beautiful forested residential campus in a really quiet neighborhood next to a state park. But then you can see here just 6 miles away is downtown Portland. And all that it has to offer, from concerts, events, great food, a vibrant art scene. It also means that our students have access to internships and career opportunities. Over half of our students engage in an internship at some point during their career at LC. And it's really easy to get around. Portland is a really bike-friendly city. We have great public transportation. We have a free shuttle that runs throughout the city. You can rent zip cars, lots of different opportunities. Like I said, our students have incredible access to outdoor opportunities right next door to campus. Basically on campus is Tryon Creek State Park, which is one of my favorite places to go trail running. And then our renowned College Outdoors program provides all sorts of countless opportunities to explore and learn about the environment of the Pacific Northwest. So we absolutely take advantage of our close proximity to the Columbia River Gorge, Mount Hood, and the beautiful Oregon coast, to name a few. And then one of the unique aspects of LC is that we've embraced a global perspective to an extent that you rarely see at colleges in the US. Our alumni reflect on their study abroad experiences as transformative, and study abroad can really impact your academic direction, your career, your life. You learn so much about the world and about yourself by immersing yourself in a different culture for a semester or a year. So if you haven't seriously considered studying abroad in college, I would encourage you to do so. So if you are thinking about applying to Lewis and Clark, there are really 3 important things for you to know. In addition to what's on the slide here, November 1 is our deadline for both non-binding early action and binding early decision. And then January 15th is our regular decision deadline. We have been test optional since 1991. We are still test optional. That means you do not need to submit SAT or ACT test scores, period. And then thirdly, admissions interviews are recommended for seniors who are planning to apply. So these will become available for rising seniors starting the end of May. Additionally, over 90% of our students do receive some type of financial aid. And then lastly, I'll just say that myself and my colleagues are thrilled to have the opportunity to work with you. So I'd encourage you to find your admissions counselor by going to this link. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we're rounding out the end of our college representatives tonight. I just want to let all of our attendees know that Verto Education is not in attendance this evening. They were not able to make it. So last but not least, with our institutions tonight, we have the University of Oregon. Hi, Grant. I'm going to have to interrupt you. There is no audio coming from your computer. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Not a problem at all. We are just going to move on though. There's just no audio. Don't worry about it. It's totally okay. I know it was working earlier. I heard you earlier. It's technology. This is what's happening with Zoom age and technology age. Don't worry about it at all. But we are just going to move on to our questions for the evening. Grant, I don't know if you want to try plugging in headphones, seeing if that works. Sometimes that will help. But we are going to move on. And Grant, if you want to put in contact information into the chat for our attendees and everything, but we'll move on to our questions for the evening and for our attendees. So I'm just going to ask all of our attendees just a general question. So if everybody would like to come back on screen, and our first question will be, If you would just like to share your favorite event or tradition on your college campus or at your institution. So we'll start in order. I'm going to quickly just stop sharing my screen for the time being. And we will start with Southern Oregon University.
One of my favorite events that we have, it's called our Oregon Fringe Festival. It kind of happens at a lot of other places too, but I really enjoy it because it's basically just a massive performance arts piece that like anyone can participate in. It takes place not even just on campus, but all over like the city itself. It's really cool. There's different performances from like musical performances, like acrobatic kind of thing. It's just so random and so out there with just so many different things. I actually participated my freshman year. I was in a brass quartet actually, and I got to perform on top of our library, and we just played as loud as we could for like the whole campus to hear us. Like it's just a lot of really cool random things like that. So definitely the Fringe Festival is one of my favorite events that we host on campus.
Awesome. Next up, we're going to have Eastern Oregon University.
Yeah, I would say one of my favorite things to do, or one of my favorite traditions here at EOU, would be just going to the sporting events. I had an opportunity of playing soccer here at EOU, and soccer isn't really well attended, but football, basketball, and volleyball are always really fun to go to. And it's fun because you get to paint your face, get together with your friends, and support your fellow classmates. So I would say attending sporting events is something that I really enjoyed, and a lot of students enjoy as a tradition here at EOU.
Awesome. Next up, Linfield.
One of my favorite events, I guess, is actually coming up soon. It's called The Burn. And over typically one of the semesters, the art students kind of build this wooden structure and they kind of add to it. And what they do is they take it out to one of our IM fields and then light it on fire. So it's this really big communal event. A lot of students gather around. They sometimes will bring musical instruments. And I think it's just this kind of big release of creative energy and just art that everybody gets to take part of. And I think it's a really fun event that many students look back on after they've graduated. I've heard alumni talk about it too.
Awesome. Next up, Lewis and Clark College.
Yeah, I would say our new student trips, these happen the week before new student orientation. They're for all incoming students. Some of them include backpacking Mount St. Helens, backpacking Mount Adams, stand-up paddleboarding and surfing at the coast, rafting the Deschutes River. And so they're through our college outdoors programs. And what I think is awesome about them is if you receive financial aid, whatever percentage of tuition you receive goes toward or will be covered on the trip as well. So they're accessible for all skill levels, and a great way to explore the Pacific Northwest.
Awesome. And we are going to see if University of Oregon has audio, so he can, fingers crossed. Yay!
I think you can hear me now. All my settings were
Awesome.
saying they were working earlier, so I apologize, everyone, and thanks for bearing with me. I'll answer this question since we're on it.
Not a
my
problem.
favorite tradition on campus is definitely a week of welcome, which is our first year orientation process on campus. Not only is it just socially exciting and you get to move in and go through all those processes, but it all culminates in usually our first home football game. And our football stadium is geographically about a mile from our campus. And so students go over the Willamette River through our trails up to our football stadium. And so we say you go over the river and through the woods to Autzen Stadium we go.
Awesome. And since we do have University of Oregon back with us on audio, we are going to have him present his 6 minutes back here on the session. So if everybody can close their video so our attendees can hear his presentation and have their experience listening to his information.
We'll do this round two, and I'll save a few minutes since I already took up 2 of mine. So I'll do a quick bulleted version for some of the things we've already gone over. But my name is Grant. I'm based in Los Angeles, California. We're located in Eugene, Oregon, which really is a classic college town for our students. So you can't separate the U of O from Eugene and vice versa. It may feel kind of small in that regard, but Eugene is actually the second largest city in the state to Portland. Metropolitan area of around 379,000. So you still kind of get that big city atmosphere. And we're an hour from both the coast and the Cascade Mountains. So A lot to explore, especially for some of the areas that my colleagues are located as well. When it comes to campus itself, we have about 19,000 undergraduate students. So really a great mid-sized institution where you can get that big school atmosphere and get all the amenities that come with that, but also have a really intimate class setting. So our median class size is just 20 students at the U of O. When it comes to our academics and research, we are a top tier 1 research university, a part of the overall organization called the Association of American Universities. We offer about 170 academic programs for our students to study. We don't have any impacted majors or any impacted courses, so you really have that flexibility to study what you want at the U of O and still graduate in 4 years. And we also offer a lot of flexibility in case you don't know what you want to study. You really have those first 2 years to explore it, and we really help you through that process. On your screen, you'll see our most popular majors, the most popular being our business administration major, specifically our sports business concentration. Outside of academics and research, though, there's a lot more to explore about the U of O. We do have a first-year live-on requirement for students, so it's a really great way to transition to college. And there's a lot of different flexibility within our residence life as well. When it comes to getting involved, you'll find that the U of O has a very active student body. So students are usually involved in 2-3 different clubs or organizations. One of the most popular being our academic programs for students to get professional development, but also we have sorority fraternity life, club and intramural sports, identity-based organizations, and the very popular UO outdoor program. When it comes to more of the logistics, we go through 3 applications at the U of O. We have no preference between the 3. Apply through either the Common App, the Coalition app, or our own application. And we do a holistic review, which really boils down into 3 overarching areas: academics, involvement in activities, and your personal statement. I will echo some of my colleagues' sentiments. We are completely test optional. So if you have test scores, you are welcome to supply them, but by no means are they required. And we use a cumulative weighted GPA on a 4.0 scale, both for our admissions and our scholarships. When it comes time for you to apply, we have 2 deadlines that we go through. We have no preference between the 2 of them. Our early action deadline is November 1. Our regular decision deadline is January 15. Biggest difference between the 2 is just when you hear back a decision from us. So if you apply by November 1, you'll hear back before winter break around December 15th. If you apply regular decision, you'll hear a little bit later in that senior year, usually around April 1. You can also get both need-based aid at the U of O as well as merit-based aid. And one thing that is important to note about our merit-based aid is that going into next year, so if you're a junior right now going to be a senior, we will continue to be test-free for our scholarships, meaning we either do a holistic academic review or just your GPA. No test scores required for any of our scholarships. If you're looking for additional things to do to learn more about the U of O, because I know that technical difficulties were kind of a mess tonight, we do have a bunch of virtual options. So you can go do our virtual campus tour while we are on a campus tour hiatus. You can also do a UO 360, which allows you to experience a campus environment as if you're actually there in a virtual reality sense, or you can schedule an appointment with either myself or one of our student ambassadors. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I appreciate you all being here today. And I will throw it back to our Strive Camp facilitator.
All right, thanks so much. So we do have a couple minutes left. I am going to throw one more question out to all of our reps this evening. If everybody can just turn their cameras on one last time. This time it's just going to be, what advice would you give somebody going through the college search process right now? So kind of think about your answers, and we'll just go through quickly one more time through the order again. Just what advice would you give somebody going through the college search process? Whatever your favorite piece of advice is. So again, we will start with Southern Oregon University.
I mean, there's just so much great advice to give in this regard. I would say just really pace yourself. Try not to get too ahead of yourself. Just take things one step at a time. It's a long, lengthy process, and it doesn't need to be all taken care of all at once. You have plenty of time to kind of, get everything sorted, to make those important decisions in life. And if you ever do feel, like scared, nervous, or you just really don't know where you're at and what you should be doing, just reach out to your school, whatever school you're interested in. It could be one of our counselors here or any other counselor anywhere, really. Just reach out, and if you have any questions or concerns, just don't be afraid to do so. because you're definitely not alone. I remember going through this process. I was absolutely terrified. I had no idea what I was doing, but I did have support along the way, and that really helped for me personally. So one step at a time, and don't be afraid to reach out for help.
Great. Next up, Eastern Oregon University.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to echo Jimmy's sentiments there. There's a lot of awesome counselors for every school, right? So if you get stuck, need help, have questions, reach out, and let us help you on your process, during your process, right? There's a lot of great schools out there, so don't be afraid to reach out and get help from us.
Awesome. Next up, Linfield.
One thing I would recommend is really, I think sometimes students, or, you get caught up on maybe what your friends are doing in high school or what you think you might want. I would really recommend you to kind of like shut out the noise and think about what you want. Do you want a big school? Do you want a small school? Do you want XYZ, and really think about, what's important to you, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to go to that college. So shut out the noise and really, as cheesy as it sounds, listen to your heart.
Absolutely. Next up, Lewis and Clark College.
Yeah, I would say take advantage of all the great virtual content that's out there right now. I'm sure you're all antsy to get off your couch and get onto our campuses, which is great. We're excited to hopefully have you soon. But there are so many resources, and it's so much more accessible in a way, and we can share so much more with you virtually than we can even on our campuses. So just do like a tour a week, a virtual visit a week, pace yourself, but use the opportunity to grow your knowledge.
Awesome. And last but not least, University of Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, lots of great advice, as my colleagues have said. I think when you're going through this process, definitely list out what your passions are and what you want to get out of your college experience, because there is a college that can provide you all of your passions. I think all of my colleagues would agree that college should be a place where you go to pursue all of your passions and not have to pick and choose between different aspects of what you want out of your college experience. And there's going to be a right college fit for you. So I know it may get overwhelming and discouraging through the long year of college admissions, but you will find that right fit, and believe in that.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to thank everybody for joining tonight, our attendees, our panelists. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for being patient with us as well. And for our attendees, once you close out the session this evening, there will be a quick survey with just 4 quick questions. We would love to hear your feedback on how we did tonight. There's also other sessions. Just want to remind you about those other sessions to sign up for those. And also that this recording will be available in about a week at strivescan.com/WACAC. I want to wish everybody the best of luck, our attendees, our counselors, our representatives, on the rest of your seasons, on the rest of your school years, and definitely have a good year, and best of luck. And thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night, everyone.